All right, Lions Den Boxing Community, Lions Den Combat Sports Show Community. This is your boy, Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show live. And boy, got a special guest. I got Miss Kaya Lola, the
Hello.
Golden Girl. How you doing?
Wonderful.
All
Thank you
right.
for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and I got you smiling. It's time to do a great interview. We're finna have some fun today.
Yeah.
Um, so it's okay. We're gonna talk about you. Okay. Um, I see your nickname, the Golden Girl. Now you got to
hmm
tell me how on God's green earth did you get that nickname?
I may or may not have a minor obsession with gold in general. Slight interest in kind of Eastern culture in general. Just came back from Southeast Asia this year. And then just as far as my own personal style, I've always got my gold on. And one of my good friends and teammates, VJ, he started calling me that, and it just totally stuck. There's no better nickname for me.
So if he would have called you Bling Bling Girl, I mean, would you would have been?
That
I,
doesn't sound as good. It's not.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hey, but yeah, you definitely got your gold. You got on a little bling, but hey, let's get it cracking. So okay, so I'm looking at your resume. I'm just looking at fights. Between grappling tournaments and actual fights, you fought 4 times in 2017.
Yeah.
You're very active. So I mean, how are you staying so healthy?
Well, I had actually come back from a really bad injury, so there was kind of the sense of, oh, I wasted all this time. And obviously it wasn't actually wasted time, but I just felt like I had all these plans and they all got pushed back for probably just under a year. So there was that sense of urgency to kind of just catch up and get that ball rolling again.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, you definitely caught up because you're being active right now. And the reason why I'm making a big deal about it is because fighters are not in this generation. They're not as active as they used to be.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're definitely keeping up with that. So what's the difference? Which one? Which do you like more? Okay. Do you like the grappling tournaments, or do you actually like to get in there and actually just bang it out?
Um, Honestly, I love them all. I won't say equally. I love Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai equally, but I love competing either in Muay Thai or MMA a little bit more than just straight grappling tournaments. But honestly, they're so good for you as a person just to kind of stay in that game, stay active, stay pushing yourself and testing yourself against other athletes who really kind of want some of the same things long term. So I'll say striking and MMA and whatnot, but I love them all
Okay.
thoroughly.
How did you actually get started in fighting? Because this is not something that people just wake up and say, "Oh, I want to start beating up people."
Yeah, so I used to be over 200 pounds. I was
No.
kind of a big, um, and I kind of started getting into weightlifting, and my buddy from Memphis, he said, you need to come over to Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu, watch one of our Jiu-Jitsu classes, and I was like, that's hella cool. Sign me up. So pretty quickly, I found a judo club to participate in, but I found myself gravitating towards jujitsu. Next thing I know, I'm like cycling to class, and I'm losing all this weight. So there's kind of like this addictive side of seeing the results. But I'm just naturally a competitive person anyway, so it kind of spiraled from there.
Okay. So it was a good friend of yours that got you started and told you. So who taught you how to throw your first punch?
Brian Hall from the Memphis Police Boxing Center.
Okay. So what was that experience like? Okay, first of all, how did he even get you into the gym and said, "Hey, Kaya, I want you to throw these punches"?
Oh, I messaged him. So I was already doing judo, and it was hard for me back then just because I was like one of the few girls there. I was one of the smaller. I mean, I was a bigger girl, but going against other all white belts. So to me, it was kind of just rough on the body. And I remember that I loved the jujitsu side of it, and that the first time it was like a couple, maybe 6, 7, 8 months into practicing, I saw this documentary, and I wish I could figure out what it is, but it was about female Muay Thai fighters. And I just remember I looked right over at my roommate and I said, I have to do that. So literally, I was messaging some people that night, being like, "Where can I do this? Is this even a thing in Memphis?" And I just ended up getting a connection. Somebody referred me over to Brian Hall, so that's kind of where it all started.
And since then, since throwing that first punch, I mean, you're ranked pretty high in Georgia. Aren't you ranked like number one or two in Georgia right now?
And
You
in the topology, I keep going in between number one and two because one of my teammates and I, we are probably the most active female, so it just kind of keeps bouncing back and forth. And then I think for NFC, I'm ranked number two.
okay? Okay, well, see, there you go. So you're up on the rise. I mean, you're currently what 2-0, and you were 3-1 in Muay Thai. Now, how did you lose in Muay Thai? Because, I actually want to ask you. See, I didn't want to look that up. I just want you to tell the story.
Oh, that was my worst fight ever, but it was also my first fight. So I'm a very technical fighter as is, but given it was my first time, I went in there and I went crazy, like just going all out. Didn't take the time to breathe in between, like just throwing as many punches as humanly possible, kind of in total and utter survival mode. So by the third round, I couldn't breathe anymore. In between round one and two, I was like, I'm good. My coach said, calm down, take your time. And I'm like, I'm good. I just want to kill her. By round three, I was just holding my chest and no, I'm going to die.
Y'all didn't catch that, guys. No, y'all didn't catch that. Says she want to kill her. You know what? I think I'm gonna make that as an intro.
But, you're in survival mode a little bit.
I'm gonna make that as an intro. I want to kill her. Hey, but now what you got to do? You got to get more excited. I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna get her. You know?
Right.
And then and I saw you start throwing your jabs and everything. What? I mean, hey, look, we're getting a show today, okay? I mean, guys, if you don't know, guys, for those of y'all that you just kind of clicked on the video and you didn't watch the beginning, I have Kaya Lola here, okay? Kaya, the Golden Girl Lola. So, all right, this is great. So now, okay, let's talk about some of your fights. Some of your amateur fights that you've had in the octagon. Um, you beat the hell out of a girl named Addison, and I noticed that you were really cutting off the octagon with her. And I'm gonna be honest, I think the referee, a combination of the referee, the combination of headgear actually saved it because you're very precise, you're very accurate, and you was doing a good job of actually splitting the guard with this girl. It was good, and I thought you rationed out everything. So could you take us through that fight?
That was kind of a revolutionary thing for me. That fight was one of those where I took my time, I stayed calm. And honestly speaking, leading up to that fight, I was more nervous than anything else because we didn't know anything about her. I didn't know what she looked like. I thought maybe we may have had the correct gym, but we weren't getting accurate details. So I didn't know what the heck we were getting into. So it's that kind of like that monster in the closet. But we got in there and just there was this total sense of calm. And what I loved about that is the fact that I could hear my corner, I could hear her corner, I could just breathe in between and just take my time and counter. And as soon as the blood started coming out, I'm like, I'm good, got this. I knew my timing was better, I knew my footwork was better, I knew I was stronger. Everything was in line with exactly how we prepared.
Wow. Hey, that's awesome. That's pretty intense. I mean, you were doing some good things in that fight too. One thing that I do notice that you're a natural is cutting off the octagon, and
Mhm.
with young fighters, they're used to following people around the octagon, but you were definitely making it your purpose to cut off that octagon because she was a taller person, and it appeared that she had a longer reach than you did. That's
Yeah.
what it appeared, and her legs looked longer, so you were kind of getting in on the inside, but you were really cutting off the octagon, limiting this girl's choices. So is that is
Yeah.
that is that something that you work on?
Yeah, definitely. I think, especially kind of starting from police boxing center, so boxing, kind of that footwork, that's kind of ingrained in me innately at this point, and it's just something that I really want to build upon. Because if you're not there to be hit, then hey, you're not going to take half as much damage. You're good to go.
Wow. And I don't think you took a lot of damage in that fight, but she did. You kind of messed up her nose, and you just went in there and you kind of lost. I mean, you didn't lost it, but you kind of went at it. Like, I mean, does it take you a little while to come down with all that adrenaline, and you just got through wrecking somebody?
Yeah, definitely. There's no greater high than winning a fight.
Do you get a thrill of punching somebody in the face? Like, does that make you feel like, yeah? I mean, you tell the truth right now.
There's no ill will. When I'm actually physically fighting, it's just like this challenge in front of me. It's like playing a video game, whatever. Like it's just this thing that needs to be overcome. And then when we're done, whether I'm losing or winning, I'm gonna hug you. Like I feel good about it. We both put in hell work. That's a really cool thing, you know.
Yeah. Oh, so you play video games, Kaya?
Not a lot, not a lot. I used to play a little bit more. I just don't really have any time these days. I
Mm.
used to be really into Halo, Call of Duty, Black Ops, that
Wow.
kind of thing.
Okay, aggressive game. I wish they come up with a customization character in UFC Fight Night. Because I would make me a Kaya Lola character, like I would.
Awesome.
Yeah, I probably would make a character. Like have like really fast hand speed. You know, then like after you get hit so many times, an aggressive streak. Because you got an aggressive streak. It's almost like somebody hit you and then you take it personal, and then you start exploding. I mean, I saw you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay calm is the important part.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, definitely, I was impressed, and you definitely do a good job. Okay, you do a great job. Um, so now, who is your main coach? Like, let's talk about your coaches.
hmm my main coach is Devorius Tubbs. He's the head of Muay Thai at our gym, American Top Team Atlanta. And then we also have Roan Jacau Canero. He is the head coach over our entire gym. So he kind of leads everything dealing with jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Now, is he the aggressive type? If is he like the passive aggressive type, or is he just like the look? I'm just gonna kick your butt today type.
So Jacau is also very calm. He's very technical, but he's incredibly strong too. So it's just when it comes to jiu-jitsu especially, and I know he's worked so hard on his Muay Thai, so even that's like a huge threat at this point, but especially jiu-jitsu, once you're down on the ground, you are totally in his world. And he doesn't have to go wild. He doesn't have to go crazy. It's like an anaconda. It's just going to get tighter and tighter, and you're going to be closer and closer to death.
Oh man. Okay. So I mean, but that's good work for you though, right? That's solid work because you're getting work from the best.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, I want to ask you about this too, and I keep going back to the fight against Addison. You threw this monster uppercut, man. Like I was so impressed with that uppercut that I kind of played it back a couple times, and
Wow.
you actually started, man. You had it nice and tight, and then wham, you hit. I mean, that uppercut was beautiful. I mean, is that something that you work on a lot because you did it like you've been like a pro for like 15 years?
um, I don't know if I would say we work on like it wasn't something where it's like okay here this is part of the game plan but obviously we come into class we do all our different combinations so maybe that was kind of just in the back of my brain somewhere um, but yeah I feel like I mean this fight was a while ago that was my second Muay Thai fight that one I just remember that once I kind of opened her up it was kind of a free for all.
But Kaya, you hit her so hard that you knocked her headgear back. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, that's a work of beauty, man. We gotta just think about that work of beauty that you did. But that was nice. But yeah, it was really good. Like you're very precise, and I'm almost thinking that I know you got to go through your amateur route, but I just think those girls. I think there's a woman in there, and then you got little girls in there fighting. I mean, because technically, I don't think their skill level there are there with you.
Honestly, I feel like as I've gone on through fighting, I've taken on bigger and better opponents. So say after that, I went down to Orlando, Florida, and fought two people, and I remember watching the teammates, even of the first girl I fought there, and they were annihilating everybody. So it was like, oh, this is a different ball game entirely. So pulled through that fight. Got my unanimous win there, and then the next one, I just remember that girl was just she had all the like tattoos all over, real stocky, like kind of short, but like clearly very strong. And I remember her just trying to take my head off. So I mean, there's definitely good opponents out there, and I'm trying to be very methodical about how we approach what fights we take. We're not just taking any and everything to pad a record. Definitely, we wanted to get that experience in as much as possible. But I want to take on some people. Like we were supposed to fight Florina Mueller. She's about to go pro. I think she was 4-2. That fight got canceled. The entire card got canceled. But those are the types of people that I want to start taking on to justify title fights and then getting closer and closer to going pro.
Now, I think you shared something very important that you want to be pushed, but then you don't want to be pushed along too fast because that could mean like certain you get in there with somebody who are 3 or 4 levels above you, then it's
Yeah.
not helping you develop.
Right.
So I appreciate you saying that because there are a lot of people, and and I'm actually a fan of Heather Hardy, and people are
Yeah.
saying, well, well, she got beat real badly, and I'm like, well, it's not that she got beat real badly, it's just the other girl was more skillful in the octagon, you know. So and I'm glad that you and your team are aware that, hey, I'm still developing. I gotta, go through what I need to go through, but eventually the title shots are there. So that's really admirable.
Oh, good.
It's very admirable. Now I want to talk about this Sunny fight.
Okay.
I want to talk about this fight with Sunny. She had you in a guillotine, and
Yeah.
you got to tell me, what were you thinking while you were in that guillotine?
Right. So that was total chaos. That entire camp was total chaos because again, we were supposed to fight Florina. I think that was 2 weeks before then. It got completely canceled, so I was like, all right, that was it. That was my one chance to fight this year. I'm about to go out of the country for over a month. So I went out of fight camp. We get an offer to fight this girl also in Missouri. So I had already moved all of my work stuff that it just was jam packed hours and hours and hours of work around this time that I was supposed to be in chill mode. So I'm like taking clients left and right. I have to drive to Nashville, then drive from Nashville to Missouri, get there. It's just total chaos. So I find myself feeling super weak during the fight. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I never feel this weak. So I'm sitting there in this guillotine, like, how did I get here? Like, I'm not in danger. I know the submission's not there, but I can't. I also feel too weak to get out of it. So I don't know what the heck is going on. So I just kind of had to be patient and be like, okay, there's something going on with my body right now to where I'm not like on top of where I need to be, but that just means I need to be very technical and I need to take my time.
Well, and while you in that guillotine, beauty happened. You got out of
Yeah,
that guillotine, and you
in a
started.
very
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Could you say it again? I'm sorry. I missed it.
I said in a beautiful way.
Yes, you got out of that guillotine beautifully, and something very beautiful happened. The ground and pound was so beautiful, because and I want you to just tell me, the fans, they were telling Sonny, choke her out, Sonny, choke her
No.
out, choke her, get her. I mean, did that motivate you to keep going?
Oh, I mean, I just remember hearing that and being like, I'm fine. These guys don't know what the heck they're talking about. And I just kind of looked over at my corner. I gave him a little thumbs up, like, I'm good. I can't get out yet, but I'm good. I'm not like about to be choked out or anything. And I remember I finally turned out of that guillotine, and the whole crowd was going crazy. And they're like, she's done, she's done. And I took a couple punches, but I clinched up with her, put the head and arm in, and literally did a head and arm choke standing into a hip toss, and that's how we went into the ground and pound. So it was just such a beautiful moment because the whole crowd was like, she's done, she's done. Oh, oh, wait a minute. You could just hear them go, oh my God. It was great.
How you gonna do that to these guys? And you gonna take the air out of the steam like this for them? Come on, that's kind of that's mean. But nah.
That's what got us the fight of the night, so I'm happy about it.
Oh, you got the fight of the night. So hey, so if I was that guy telling you she's done, what would you say to him right now?
I would just, I'm not a jerk, but I would definitely laugh about it and be like, was I done? Really?
See, look, I'm already thinking a whole lot of intro videos for you. See, that's another one. Yeah, see, what you ought to do is get that guy's voice, him saying you done, and then you come back and do what you just did. Was I done? See, I'm telling you that's good.
It's already a clip on my Instagram. Everybody loved it.
Oh, okay. See, look, you're already 5 steps ahead of everybody. Look at this, a true professional. Okay, well, I mean, I'm just saying you beat the hell out of Sunny. I mean, you did. Okay, she tried everything she could, but I thought you had the more clear strikes. I thought you did more work. And then when you actually got to your feet and when you were able to stand, wow,
Mhm.
you are very, very technical and precise. I mean, she had no stand up that could deal with you. So that's why I was like, man, this girl is levels above these women. I mean, you really do have a feel for it. You have a feel for when to throw the punches at the right time. When to actually hold back, when to be calm. And the way you handled that guillotine and just it was a good. You might not thought it was a good fight. I thought it was a good fight. I thought you did well.
I thought it was pretty good. We had really good moments. But honestly, just getting through feeling so like sick, literally within 24 hours of getting home, I was like throwing my guts up, like clearly had been sick
Mm.
driving there and back. That to me was like you can get through anything as long as you kind of stay calm and prepare really well, and that technique is there to back you up in case you don't have the strength and the energy at the time. So I feel really good about it still.
I feel great about it too, cause I'm watching your fights and now I'm talking to you. Like this is kind of like wow, this is good. I watched the fights and now I'm talking to the person that just got these victories. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now, okay, now that you know you definitely training and you're healthy right now, right?
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Okay, who do you want next in this world where you're at in your career? Who do you
Mhm.
literally want to fight like tomorrow if you could fight him?
I was really excited to fight Florina. And from what I've heard, she has been talking about having, or her team has talked about having some connections with Invicta and stuff, and possibly going pro really soon. So I feel like if we could set that one back up, that would be the most exciting thing for me right now.
And you did a promo video for that one too, right?
Good, yeah, we were totally excited about that.
And guys, she's got a website. Okay, if she's got a website, it's up on the screen.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in big letters because you better go to the website, guys. And she's got that promo is pretty awesome. Okay, you know she's got those things there. So let me ask you, were you ever approached to actually be on Tough 26?
No, I had people like tagging me for that online, but I didn't get like a phone call or anything about it from their team or anything like that.
Are you gonna try out for the next one?
Um, I would definitely be open-minded to that. That's a definite possibility.
Because by the time they have another, you know, like auditioning people to try out, the way I mean, the way you're progressing, your skill level is gonna be there.
Yeah.
So, how long technically in years have you been fighting? Like, just from time now to now that we're talking.
Um, let's see. I think what was my first fight? 2015? Maybe it was 2014. I have to look at the list. I don't know. It's been a couple of years, but I've been training maybe 4 to 5 years overall.
That's impressive. It's really impressive because you don't like somebody who's been training 4 years. You know, I mean, you actually do look like you've been doing this for a while. Because just watching you place your punches, you know, again, you know, knowing when to strike, when not to strike, when to be defensive, you know, and the way
Yeah.
you got out of the guillotine, it was a veteran move because you know younger fighters, you know, they panic. They panic when they're in those
Mhm.
guillotines because you can't breathe. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to move, and you're sitting there. I mean, I hate a guillotine. I hate them. I've been in one before. It's one of the worst feelings. It's not worse than a Kimura, but it's a bad feeling.
Right.
And,
Right.
and you're sitting there breathing, but you really remain calm. And I'm sorry I keep harking on that one fight, but I was more impressed with that fight.
Oh wow.
Okay, you got an airplane flying back there. What
Here, yeah.
no, that's okay. They coming to figure out where you at, and you know that's what they're doing right now. But yeah, okay. So now with all that, you know, you've been doing it 4 years, and you pretty much got the next opponent you want. Have you been keeping up with the 125-pound rankings in the UFC and Invicta?
Yeah, I've been keeping my eye on it. There's definitely a couple people in particular that I absolutely love and adore, like Andrea KGB Lee like, is one of my favorites for sure. There's a lot of talent out there, I'll say that.
Yeah, she's got to wait for a few months before she actually is officially in. But you know, look, she's gonna be in because I'm a huge fan of KGB Lee. I'm glad you mentioned that. You know, you just made my day. Uh, because I think she's gonna do a great job in the UFC.
Oh
Now,
my gosh, she's gonna annihilate.
you're still young. Are your future plans are to go into the UFC?
I have people ask me this all the time, and honestly speaking, I'm very open-minded to that. But I've also seen how the people who aren't necessarily the biggest stars in the UFC don't get that same kind of pay grade because of the lack of sponsorship. So I'm open-minded to other routes too, whether that's Bellator or Invicta or anything in between, so long as it makes sense.
I think you have to be sponsorable, and I think you are pretty sponsorable. And to be honest, I think you're already built for it. I even watched one of your commercials that you did, where you were talking about some Muay Thai gear.
Hmm.
And to be honest, you're already like I think you've already got a knack for it. It's there. It's just something you may have to like really expand on. But
Hmm.
I, I think if you keep winning and doing what you're doing, I think there'd be no excuse why you can't be there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what I see now. I've been watching the fights for a while, but I can tell somebody that, and you got like a lot of charisma, even in your promos. It's like it's like you got this artistic feel to you. Like you actually know how to act in front of a camera. It's kind
Yeah, a
of
little bit.
strange.
I am a photographer. That is my job.
Oh, you take photos.
Yeah, yeah. I run a photo studio called Lola Land Photography, so I'm definitely no model per se, but having directed enough, I have a general outline of what is good and bad in front of a camera.
Okay, I'm not the only person to tell you this, right?
What?
About that you're very good in front of the camera, like you're
Oh,
photogenic. Okay, yeah. See, it's already laid out in stone for you. That's pretty awesome. So you take photographs. So like, what's some of your favorite things to photograph? Or is it where people have a preference?
yeah, definitely fitness. So my studio specializes in fitness and headshots, and then I opened up a boudoir department also. But definitely just photographing other athletes because any networking I do as a photographer benefits me as a fighter and vice versa. So that's just my world. I love shooting the Muay Thai fights, the Jiu-Jitsu competitions, and then the MMA guys before their fights. All that. It's my jam for sure.
Now, is your photography, are your photos on your actual website?
Yep,
Okay.
lolalandphotography.com.
Okay, guys, that's going to be up on the screen as well. So that means,
Thank you.
so we, the fans, we can actually look at some of your work, correct?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Bigfoot Silva is on there. There's a lot of good people. A lot of Kakudo Challenge and Lotus Muay Thai fights and all of that.
Okay. All right. Well, we're definitely going to check it out. Well, I ain't going to keep you for your whole Sunday, but, I kind of want to see how well you know people. I want to
Oh
see,
no. Oh
see, okay,
no.
hey, there's no time to be shy now, Lola. There's no time to be
Do I?
shy.
I'm good with faces, not so good with names.
Oh, God bless you, boy. I bet these people will never be on your Christmas list, will they? They probably won't. No. Well, listen, Lola, it's okay. It's okay. All right, I'm gonna give you people that you probably would know. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So when I say a name, it's got to come to your mind instantly. If you wait longer than like a second, I'm gonna put a big old X over the screen. But when you see the
Oh,
video, you'll see a big X go over your face.
you prepared for all the X's.
Oh, dang it! I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Okay. All right. First name, Dana White.
Dana White, yeah, the owner of UFC.
You took a long time for that. God.
See, my nerves alone will mess me up.
Oh,
I'm just supposed to say who they are, right? Like define who they are.
yeah, yeah. Just tell me something about it.
Okay. Just so I
Wait,
understand the rules here.
nerves. Wait a minute. What kind of nerve? No, no, no. This is the big fight. You can't be nervous. Okay. All right. Next person. Rose Namajunas.
Yes, so she's the champ of the 135-pound division, or 115-pound division, excuse me.
So,
Yes,
okay. So you almost got Rose Namajunas as a weight class wrong. Boy, that's not good.
I know, I know.
I'm just
I
joking.
love her to death. And I really, really love her to death. I'm so glad she's the champ now.
I'm glad she's
As
the
much as
champ
I
too.
love Joanna, as much as I love Joanna.
That's okay. You can love Joanna and I love Rose. There's enough love to go around. Okay. There you go. Okay. Next person, Nico Montano.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Oh dear God, are you serious? Hey guys, all you Nico Montano fans, listen. Please don't watch this. Okay.
No.
I know.
I
I
need
know.
to take some notes. You can shoot me that name after this, and I'll look her up.
It's all in fun. Just take a deep breath. The next one, I think you'll know this one. Floyd Money Mayweather.
Oh, of course. Boxing champion.
You got it. Manny, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao.
Also boxing.
Okay. All right. Last one. Okay. Conor McGregor.
Of course. Conor McGregor, the Irish, what do they call him? The Irish something or another, but also champion in the MMA world. And just like Floyd.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Possibly fighting Manny.
Possibly may fight Manny. I don't know. So if he fights Manny, who do you think you're gonna pick for that?
Oh, Manny, of course. That's a different world. This is a different world.
Oh man, come on. You sitting here hating on Connor like this. You can't do that. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Okay. Well, and my last question for you. Okay, your pick. Who are you picking? Well, could you first of all break the fight down for us? Cyborg versus Home. Who are you picking, and how do you think the fight plays out?
We are very used to seeing Cyborg annihilate with her hands. Everybody knows it's ground and pound central. She's gonna to hurt your face, and that's where really the fight's gonna end. But with Holly, with such an extensive boxing and kickboxing background, I think we may see a different side of Cyborg's fight, which is going to be more based on her grappling. So I think we're going to see a lot more to do with her being like a brown belt in jiu-jitsu with the takedowns, and then being possibly a little bit more technical, because Holly is great at her game planning in general. You saw it in her fight against Ronda Rousey and how she kept the hip distance away to avoid the takedowns and all that. But her jiu-jitsu game is not on that level yet, which you saw with the fight with Misha Tate.
Yeah, yeah. And she was actually winning that fight, and then Misha
Yeah.
just managed to use an angle. She took a nasty
Yeah.
angle, and bam,
Yeah.
slapped on that rear naked choke. It was over. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, there we go. We got the breakdown. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it to give me a clear winner, y'all. But we got a breakdown. I got the breakdown out of this woman. I did. Okay. So now, before we, take off, anything else you want to talk about? Anything, anybody you want to talk to or think?
I would like to say thank you to Tubbs. He kind of knows all the stuff going on this year, and it's been crazy with all the fights and trying to jam pack them in. So I'm really appreciative of him kind of having my back this last year, and then really investing the time into developing me as a fighter, and just making sure that I'm taken care of and prepared for everything that we've been facing. So just thank you.
Wow. And that's deep. Oh, last thing, your parents. How do your mom and dad feel about you going in there, giving out beatings and possibly taking hits to the face?
My mom actually would not watch my fights for a very long time, but I kept coming back being like, I won. Okay. She's like, all right, I still don't really want to see it. Came back. I'm like, I got the championship, got this big old trophy. She's like, okay, that's good. And finally after that, she's like, okay, I'll watch it. And then after she saw me, she's like, oh, you're not getting hurt at all. I haven't actually been damaged too much. So I think she's warming up to it pretty well at this point.
Okay. And dad, is he pretty? Because most of the dads are always like, yeah, go ahead, do it.
No dad in the picture, so just my fight fam and my mom.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know that. But that's good. Now, listen. Now tell mom, she need to be your biggest supporter now. Tell her even if she think it's a tough fight. Tell her now she can't be a negative Nancy. She got to be a positive Polly.
No, she seems good now.
That's good. That's good. Well, on behalf of LDBCSports.com, this interview is going to be posted there. It's going to be posted in different fight streams. It's going to be posted everywhere. And then, Kaya, I definitely want to have you back for an actual live stream after this interview is done. And I just want to talk fights with you, like just definite
Yeah.
fights. You, me, and Amazing Eric from Amazing Eric Sports. We're gonna just have
Okay.
a fight talk live stream, and it's gonna be fun.
Oh, that would be awesome.
But I definitely appreciate your time. I'm actually, I had to stop breathing heavy for a minute because I got to get past the shock that I'm actually talking to the person that I seen fighting. It's always a shock for me the first time. So yeah, but I really appreciate it. And could you just say your name and say, hey, my name is Kia Lola, and you're watching Coach Shelton Harrison.
My name is Kaya Lola,
Oh
sir.
crap, Kaya, I'm sorry.
You got it right the whole time.
Oh man,
Except for the very, very end.
oh,
So my name is Kaya Lola, the Golden Girl. And I appreciate you having me on the show.
okay, okay. Hey, I appreciate you as well. That's awesome.